So this is Figma. This is Figma. So the first thing we need to do, I want us to move very fast. I want us to move very fast because we'll be doing the UI design, and I will be teaching us different ways by which you can develop and design a website. So this is one of it. By next week, we'll be looking at another method of designing and developing website. So this is one of it. So this morning we'll be looking at Figma. So if you are with your laptop there or desktop, wherever you are watching this, whatever device you are using to watch this tutorial or class, so just head on to www.figma.com. So let's quickly get started with that. So we need to create an account. It's free. It's free, though they have the premium package, but what we'll be using today, it's free. Whatever I want to use, most designers use the free package, so it's very free. So just head on to www.figma.com. Figma.com. So when you get there, we see this interface. This is their landing page. This is their landing page. This is the first thing that you will see when you get to Figma.com. This is the first screen that you will see when you get to Figma.com. So don't worry, you will understand everything before the end of this class. So this is the first screen that you will get when you get to Figma.com. So let's create an account. Let's open an account with them. So get started. Or if you have an account before, just click on the login button. Just click on the login. If you have an account with them before, just click get started here, or you click get started here. So let's click on get started. Sorry, let's click. So let me get started. I like to create my account with using Google. So I have these two accounts. So I want to use this. Just click on your Gmail or whatever account that you want to use. So just click it. Very easy to sign up. So it has picked my name from the Gmail account, Sheyi Martins. If you want to be receiving newsletter from Figma, you can click to join, but it's not compulsory. So if you want to be receiving newsletter from them, you can click to join, and you'll be receiving newsletter from them. So what kind of work do you do? What kind of work do you do? Now, if you're a student, these are different kind of work that you can do. Different kind of role you can fill in a tech ecosystem. So we can all choose design, because today we want to be a UI designer. So just click on design, or if you feel like you want to choose another thing, you can choose others. If you're an engineer and you can't see the kind of job you do here, just click other. But today I'll be choosing design. So create account. Create account. Create account. So you will see this interface. You will see this interface. This interface. Let's give it a minute. So while it's loading, let me just introduce us to Figma. Figma is a design tool. Just like we have Photoshop, CorelDRAW, Adobe Illustrator, Canva, Figma is a design tool. So it's a cloud-based design tool. Now, you can access Figma from your browser by going to www.figma.com. You can also download their application. You download the application on your system, and you can use it. So Figma is auto-save. You don't need to be pressing Ctrl+S all the time. So when you are connected, it's auto-save. Your work are auto-saving to the Figma cloud. So you don't need to be pressing Ctrl+S all the time. As you are working, it's auto-saving your work. It's auto-saving your work. So it's auto-saving your work. So you don't need to be pressing Ctrl+S all the time. Now I don't need a team. We are not working with a team. I'm working solo. Now only me is working on this design. So another good side of Figma is a collaborative tool. Now, what I mean by collaborative tool is that all of us on this call can be working on a single design at the same time. All of us on this call can be working on a single design at the same time. I will just invite us. If I'm the host, so I will just invite us, and immediately I invited us, all of us will receive the invite and we join, and we'll be working on the same design at the same time. At the same time, I can decide to be working on the landing page, while you can decide to be working on the about us page, services page, contact us page at the same time on the same screen. So it's a collaborative tool. And it's an awesome tool. You can do a lot with Figma. You can do a lot with Figma. So let's check the interface. Do this later. I'll click on do this later. So I want to start free. We are not using the professional package for now. We are starting free. So we are using design with Figma. This is FigJam. In another tutorial, I'll be looking at that. So we want to design with Figma. Well, I will get started on my own. So I'll click on get started on my own. So this is just like a tooltip to walk you around the interface of Figma, but I will do that. I don't need that. No thanks. So this is the first thing you will see when you sign up, when you complete your sign up on Figma. When you complete your sign up on Figma. So can someone unmute if you get it to this stage? If you are not confused, let me know. If you get it to this stage, can someone just unmute and tell me that you understand everything up to this stage? Because from here we'll be designing our website. So someone should just unmute and tell me that you understand everything to this stage.
I have been able to get to this stage.
Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you. So when you see all these things, you don't disturb yourself about all these things. By the time we start creating our design too, you will see whatever design that we've created, you see it at the thumbnail. You see the thumbnail here. So this is just like a shortcut to click to access your design. So all your design, if you have created thousands of designs, hundreds of designs, you will see everything here. So at this top, this is to create new design file. It says design and prototype. When we click on it, you will see the interface too, and I will walk us through the interface. This is new FigJam file. FigJam is a whiteboard tool, a brainstorming tool. There's a lot you can do with FigJam. We're not touching that today. And the import file. Now you can export your design as .fig. So when you export, for example, maybe after I design this, after I am through with today's design, I can save and export as Fig. So when I export as Fig, and you have the access to the file, so to import the file to your own Figma account, you just come here, click on import, and you locate wherever the file is being saved on your system, and you upload it. Immediately you upload it, it will be uploaded here, and it will be added to the list of files you worked on here. So let's click on the new design file. Let's click on new design file. Here you will see the first letter of your name, or you see if you have uploaded your picture, you see your picture here. So if you have uploaded your picture, you see your picture here. So this is where you can sign out, log out, or get the desktop app. You can change the theme. I like working in dark theme. My system is dark theme, so that's why I choose my system dark theme. If you choose light theme, this is light theme. I'm not really cool with light theme. I like working in dark mode or dark theme, so I choose system theme because dark mode is my system theme. So let's click on new design file. Let's get started. So click on new design file. It's loading. So this is the interface. Yours might be white. Your interface might be white, and the reason is, I said the other time that Figma, the way I set my Figma is to follow my system theme, which is black dark theme. So, but if yours is white and you want to change it to dark theme, that is, you go out, just go out, and you click on back, and you go to the previous page. You choose dark theme, but if you are cool with white theme, you can just continue. Now, this is where you name at the top here. You see draft. This is where you name your file. You give name to your file. You give name to your file. So today we'll be designing. What we'll be designing is a website for an audit firm. So you can just say, I don't have a name for the audit firm right now, but let me just say audit it. Audit it. Audit it is the, let's say audit hyphen it. Maybe that's the name of our audit firm. Or you just give it any name that you are cool with. But I like to give the name of name my file, the name of the website that I'm working on. So if I'm designing a website for Coca-Cola or Pepsi, I'm designing a website for Lagos State Government, I like to give it the name of the website. So Lagos State Government. So today we assume that the name of our company is Audit It or Audit X. Audit Excellent. So just click on enter to leave that stage and to leave that to commit that changes. So show version history, click on export. This is where you export your file to as a fig file. The other time I showed you that you can import your file as a fig file. So if I export this design as a fig file, that is .fig. Now you see, when you save your Microsoft Word document, it is saved as either .docx or .doc. So that's the extension for sorry. Got it. So that is the extension for identifying Word document, and that is what Microsoft Word document can identify, can read. So for the extension for Figma is .fig, .fig, F for flower, I for indigo, G for grow or giant. So now this is our Figma Canva. Maybe I should change it to white so that the majority of us can see it. Yeah. So this is our Figma Canva. This is where the design takes place. All the design. If you are designing 50 pages website, this is where everything takes place. It's an infinity scroll. Hardly will you exhaust the space here. The space is not just from here to here, this four corner, this square. It's bigger than that. By the time we start designing, we notice, we see that. So at this side is our tools. So all the tools that we use to design websites, this is where we pick it from. We pick all the design tools from here. And this is our asset, layers, and page panel. This is layers panel, asset panel, and pages panel. By the time we start creating our design, you will see how this thing works. And this is our properties panel. And this is our properties panel. So we have, under this properties panel, we have design, prototype, and inspect. When we start designing, you will get to know how all these things work. So let's get started. Let's continue. This particular tool is called frame tool. Frame tool. You can click the drop down to see the name. Click the drop down menu to see the name. Frame tool. Now, what is frame tool and what is the importance of this tool? What do we use it for? And the next one is section 2. What is section 2? What do we use it for? I will explain all this. What is slide tool? What do we use it for? Now, this is frame 2. This is our Canva. Before you start designing your website or your mobile app, the first thing you need to establish, you need to set up is your frame size. You need to set up your frame size. And what do I mean by frame size? You just set up like you set up, maybe you want to design mobile app, you want to design desktop website, you want to design for tablet. You need to establish the size of screen that you want to design for, because this is what a developer, a programmer, or a WordPress, a low-code developer. Now, when I say low-code developer, we have WordPress, we have a Webflow. Later we'll be looking at Webflow, but not in this class. Maybe our next training we'll be looking at how we can design in Webflow. So these are just drag and drop design. And why do we use all this low-code design? It makes you to ship your MVP, minimum viable product, in no time, very fast. So you test the market, you have an idea. Maybe you have an idea that, okay, you have a product idea, and you don't have the capital to start setting up some team like that. So you don't want to invest so much into that product, because you don't know if market will buy into that product or not. So the advisable thing, or the wise thing for you to do, is just get a designer and a local developer. Let them design and develop your idea for you, and ship it, test it in the market. When you see the turnout, you can now, scale it. When you scale it up, that is when you can go custom. And the sweet part of some of the things is, you are not actually starting from scratch. You are continuing from where you stopped with low code. So if you have a product idea, or you even have a website, so now this training will equip you to be like, you are like a team. A single you are like a team. You are designer, you are the developer. So it will reduce your spending, your expenses. So this is the frame 2. And when we click on frame 2, what do we get? Let's click on frame 2. When we click on frame 2, now this is the tool. This is our tool. Okay, let me start from here. This is the move tool. So move tool simply means to move object around. To move object around on the Canva, on this Canva. To move object around on this Canva. And the shortcut, I like working with shortcut because it makes you work faster. So the shortcut is just V. And under that move tool, we have another tool called scale tool. Scaled tool. And this is the icon for scale tool. This is the icon for move tool. Now, and what do we use scale tool for? We use scale tool to scale an object, to either increase the size of an object, an element, to increase the size of an element, or to decrease the size of an element. So let me quickly experiment these two tools. So let's take these two. This is the drag and drop. So my point, the only tool I can use to move this element from this point A to point B is called move tool, and that is why we have move tool. So this is the only tool that is saddled with the responsibility of moving this this element from point A to point B. And this is it. Just click on it, and you could drag it anywhere on the Canva. So if I'm okay here, just release your mouse and scale tool. The shortcut is K. Now, any tools that you use, any tools that you click, different kind of settings in Canva website. So it's still Canva, it's still like a playground. So now this is scale tool. Scale tool is just to increase or decrease the size of an element. Scale is just to decrease or increase the size of an element. So when I click on it, so immediately I click on it, you can see that the property changed from we have numerous things to work with when it was under move tool. Just you click on one angle, one edge, and you drag it up. You drag it down to reduce, or you drag it up to increase. and it will maintain the proportion. It will maintain the proportion. So that is what scale tool is used for. So I will go back to my move tool. Always remember to go back that should be your default tool. Anytime you make any changes, or you commit anything, try to go back to your move tool, which is V. V is the shortcut, because over time I may stop coming to this tool. I will just be pressing V on my keyboard. So just click on move tool. So by the time I click on move tool, there's another way in mind I want to work with. So and the height of this element is 381.53 pixel. Now this X and Y is just the location of this particular element on this canvas. Now notice, let me move it around again with my move tool. Notice that most of the time you may not need to bother yourself about these two digits, two numbers, or two X and Y axis. So when I move it around, let me click on it. You can see that the number is changing. It's just telling me the location of this particular element on the 45-degree angle. Now if you are getting me, can you just say yes? Just unmute yourself and say yes if you get it to this level. If I'm not too fast, just say yes. Just unmute and say yes. I need someone to unmute and say yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Olorun Toba, you raised your hand. You can unmute and talk.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I have a question, please.
Okay.
Yeah, when you were explaining the purpose of having a frame size.
Yes.
Okay. You explained that it is meant for the type of device you want to use.
Yes.
But what if what I'm designing for is going to be for all the devices? For instance, someone should be able to access it via mobile, computer, and also on the phone.
Okay, thank you. Good question. Now, this class will be looking at, it's called responsive design. Now, it is expected of a developer to, it's not bargainable. A developer must be able to develop a website and make it responsive across all screen sizes. Whether billboard, we have digital billboard, whether ATM machine, mobile phone, smartwatch. A developer must be able to design, and it must fit into all this. Now, when we are designing here is just to give a visual of how the website will look. Now, when we design, by the time we start designing, you will understand, you will get your question better. Maybe you will understand what I want to say better. We choose a frame for desktop, and we also choose a frame for mobile. Now, the mobile frame that we choose, we need to scale down. We talk. There's something called cascading style sheet, CSS. We need to scale down that particular design from web to mobile. So that mobile screen that we are designing is a guide. For a developer. Now, after you have implemented this particular web frame size, this is the guide for you on how the mobile size should look. The mobile frame should look. So by the time we start designing, you will see how it works. You will see how it works. Degree, an angle of any angle that you can think of, negative and default so, and it's just to make the edge curl a little bit. So you can, if I set my radius to, let's say, 10, you will see how all these things work by the time we move to WordPress. So if I type it to 10, you will see that. Okay, let me change the color. Corner radius, you can give it any size, any digit that you like. You can give it 100. You can see the creative direction. on it will determine how when to or how you want to use this. You can see this four corner radius size. Now, meaning that this first zero, first digit here, it said the two tips said top left corner radius, right corner radius, and the bottom left corner radius. So it moves it moves clockwise. So from here to here to here to here. So the first digit that you see, so that may be my design style. That may be my design style. Keyboard, click delete, click and press delete button on your keyboard. Frame tool is called region tools. There are many tools under this frame tool, and this is frame tool, section tool, slice tool. The most important out of all of them that you will often use is this frame tool. I will explain the three. Now, if I click on this frame tool, the shortcut is F. Category for desktop, present a website, desktop website. Now I'm streaming this particular class from a desktop. So let's take for instance, I want to design for a desktop. We have different screen sizes. We have different screen sizes for MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, MacBook Pro 14 inches, MacBook Pro 16 inches, desktop, wireframes, TV. Which one will I choose? So because if I'm designing for MacBook, you cannot say all your user will just be they will use MacBook Pro 14 inches to access your website. No. So you don't need to any screen you use, any frame size that you choose here will work. Any one that you choose will work the same size. Reason is this is the size that you'll be working with most time. This is the size. So I can decide to choose MacBook Air. Whatever design I will put on MacBook Air, it's the same design, creative design that we put on desktop. It's the same design that will be shown on. We have smart TV. You can access a website on a smart TV. It's the same design. It will adapt. It will adapt to the size of that particular streaming device. That particular device that your website is being accessed from. So I can decide. Let's choose. Let's see the different sizes. The difference in their sizes. The first thing is you just click on it, and we see when we choose MacBook Air, everything just full our canvas. And I said the other time that the canvas is so big that you cannot exhaust it. You cannot exhaust it. So this is a zoom like fits to screen. Now if you want to zoom in or zoom out, you press your control on your keyboard if you are using Windows laptop, or you press command on a MacBook and you use your mouse scroll wheel. Just press it forward and backward to see which one is for zoom in or zoom out. So I want to zoom out now. I will press and hold down on my control key button, and I'll use the scroll wheel to zoom out. So you can see that the size is reducing. The size is around Figma Canva. So what I did is I clicked and hold my mouse and use it to drag. So when you place it side by side with MacBook Air, you can see. Okay, let me place it at the top so that we can see that it's bigger, but the size doesn't use. Click on frame tool, and the next one is MacBook Pro 16. MacBook Pro 16. MacBook Pro 16. It's almost 1 hour on this, and I want us to design something today. So to make it, you can check the size at the side here. You have MacBook here. It says 1280 multiplied by, that is 1280 by 832 inches. Pixel. MacBook Pro 14 inches says 1512 by 982 1512 by 982. MacBook Pro 16. So the point here is that any frame you choose, you can work with any frame that you choose, any frame whatsoever, any frame that you choose, you can work with. I just click delete button on my keyboard. That one has been deleted. I will select this to delete. I will select the third one, delete. So let's check another tool under this. Now section 2. By the time you start designing and your screens is becoming plenty, you have many screens on many hardboard or many frames. Now it will get, when I say screen, so I mean hardboard, I mean frame. So the another name for frame is hardboard or frame or screen. So by the time you start hearing frame, you start hearing hardboard, you start hearing screen, don't be confused. I mean the same thing. So by the time you start having many frame, and you design for about us, you design for landing page, you design for contact us page, you need to section it. You need to make it clear that for a developer that you give this link to, you'll be able to know that, okay, this is where I will find the landing page. This is where the landing page design is. And when you give it to, you can also say, okay, this is where the about us page is. So this is what section is all about. So by the time when you click on section, you just click drag, you just click home page. So I want to zoom out to a side, and I want to create another section. I just want to keep everything neat about us. This is for about us section. Now that is how to create section. You can create as many sections inside this one of the sections that we have created. Because today we are designing the landing page, we just click on this frame. The only tool I can use to select another element on a Canva is, I like working with this frame size. I just click on this frame size and it will be added. So it's added. Now I want to move it inside one of this section. I want to move it inside one of this section. I will just click and hold and drag it inside this section. Inside the section. Now the other time I told you, I said desktop one that we just created. So this is where the design will take place. We don't need this for now. I just use that to show you, to explain how section works. So I want to delete this particular section. Just click on it and press the delete button on your keyboard. Click on it and press the delete button on your keyboard. Now the next tool that I want to talk about, which is very important, that we need to use almost all the time, is this rectangle tool, and the shortcut is very easy to remember. R for rectangle, we have line tool, L for line, arrow tool, that is shift L. You may not even memorize that. Ellipse tool, O, you are drawing circle, O, polygon tool, star tool, and place image or video. We'll look at all these things very soon. So the next thing that I want to look at, okay, let me show you how all these tools are used. I think I've showed you the way rectangle tool works. Just click on rectangle and click on the Canva or anywhere. You can even the shift key button on your keyboard and you draw. So it will draw a square. And how do you know that you've drawn size? All the sides are not equal. You can see the width says 1002, the height says 894. Using that rectangle tool. So when they say rectangle tool, it doesn't mean that it's only rectangle that you can use it to draw. You can use it to draw any shape. You can use it to draw trapezoid. Now they have four corners. So you can use it to draw those kind of shape. So let me delete these two shapes. The next thing that we will look at is line tool. The same thing, just click on L and the line tool and you use it to draw. I want to move a little bit faster so that we can design something today. Arrow tool, click on it, drag, click on the outside and the Canva, click on it and drag. Ellipse tool, the same thing. Polygon tool, the same way this rectangle tool works. That's the same way all this thing works. This star tool, the same way it also works. But let me show us something with star tool. When you click on star tool, when I click on start to, let me zoom in a little bit so that we all can see it. So you just maintain the proportion, the actual proportion. Make sure you press and hold shift. Shift is for you to maintain the proportion of the shape. Now after I've clicked on it, I can increase the size of the two. I can increase the size of the two of this time. Maybe I can make it 7. Just come to this side, type 7, and it will change to 7. So that is how you can play around with it. You can use it as all those elements to spice up your design anytime you start working. It depends on your creativity. There are numerous things you can do with all these elements that we have talked about. So the next one that we'll talk about, maybe not now, is place image and video, because we're going to place image and I will show us, or we use this tool that we talk about is this pen tool, pen or pencil tool. This is pen tool and this is pencil tool. And what do we use pen tool for? We use it to draw. We use it to draw. So this is how to use pen tool. You may not, for now, you may not bother yourself because it's kind of advanced. You can do a lot. Maybe you have a custom shape that you want to draw, and one can get frustrated. So let's just use the basic tool. Let me delete this tool because there's no website without text. Website is for us to pass information and do quite a number of things. So this is text tool, and when you click on text tool, the shortcut is T. You can see that the shortcut in Figma are very easy to memorize, very easy to remember. I said R for rectangle, O for ellipse tool, ellipse is circle, F for frame tool, V for move tool, T for text, and C. So you just click on text tool, click outside, and you begin to type. You click outside. So I can type anything I want to type. Let's type maybe free website. Free website. Free website. Sorry. So let me just type free. So when you are done with whatever you are typing, just press escape button on your keyboard. Escape. And these are the fonts available. These are free fonts that you don't need to, nobody will penalize you for the copyright effect of it. So these are Google fonts. You just click and choose. By default, you may see that you have Inter. All these fonts, you don't need to memorize them. You don't need to memorize them. So when you want to see other fonts, maybe you don't like this particular font, like mode, immediately you click on it, it will change, or you just tell me you are getting it. Someone should just unmute and tell me.
Yeah, for me, I got everything. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So you can still.
If you got it to this stage, just let me know that you get everything. Because from now we'll be designing, and that's what we've been waiting for. For the next 1 hour, we'll be using the next 1 hour to design.
I got to this thing.
Okay, thank you. I need one more person. One more person.
Yeah, for me, I got everything.
Yeah.
It's fine. Let's proceed.
Okay, thank you. So now another thing we can do with the font is the font that you use. All of us know we've used we are still using Microsoft Word. We know bold, we know italic, we know underline, all those stuff. All those things are here. So you can just click on the drop down, this particular drop down. So we have the family of this particular font. The family of it has thin, it has regular, semi-bold, and the bold. Now, what I will advise going forward, before I move forward, is any font that you want to choose to design your website, make sure it has at least a bold, because it creates hierarchy. By the time we start designing, you will understand what I mean later. So This is the font, and any font you choose, make sure that it has all these three families. Another properties on this tool is the font size. The font size, you want to make it bigger, you can come here, type, and choose the font size. If I choose 36, now you can see that it's bigger. Now I want to move it to the middle. Remember, I'm using my move tool. You can change the color of your text, rather, of your text. And how do you change the color of your text? The same way, just listen, watch. The same way you change the color of text is the same way you change the color of shape. It's the same way you change the color of anything on this in this Figma. So you just click on this particular box. Now the current color is white, and the color code, the X code, is FFFFF. Don't bother memorizing all these things. You don't need to memorize them. They are simple. A time will come that you will know majority of some of them, not majority, some of them offhand. You don't need to memorize them. So just click on this square, white square shape. When you click on it, it will bring out the color wheel. So when it brings out the color wheel, so you can choose any color that you want, that you like here. So if I want to change another color, just come to this wheel, just drag it. By the time you drag it, you can see that the color start changing. This color starts changing, So if I move it to the blue section, maybe blue section is my favorite, or is the color I want to use for this project. I will just click, come here, drag of the color. The lighter part of a color is called tint, T-I-N-T, in this part of that logo to this particular brand. We don't want to go and use, all of us know that the brand color of UBA is red. We don't want to go and use yellow for them. They are not MTN. So you need to get even the actual red color of the brand UBA. So if they give you the X code, wherever the position of this particular, for example, the X code for pure red is FF, and the X code is 6 digits. 6 digits. So you just type FF00, that's for 00. That is red. You don't need to memorize this thing. Don't bother yourself memorizing it. You will get used to them as time goes on. And you press enter, it will change to red. Now another trick that you can use is you can come here and you know the name of any color. Maybe I know the name of yellow. You don't know the color code. Just type yellow. Just type the text yellow inside the color and enter. It will change to yellow. And it will give you the perfect color code. You can now play around with the shades and the tint. If I type orange, it will change to orange. Color. If I type purple, it will change to purple. So sometimes you may not need to disturb yourself memorizing, cramming all these things. Just make sure that you understand everything. And this 100% simply means the transparency. Some people know it as transparency. It's also called opacity. So is the depth of that particular color. So if I reduce it to, let's say, 40, you see that it will, the intensity of that color has been reduced to 40. All these things will come handy by the time we start designing. It's not really making a lot of sense now because we started designing and I've deleted it. Now the next section is this particular section is it houses 3 other sections: component, plugins, and widget. This tutorial is too long, so we use component. And what is component? Component is just creating assets that we use for consistency. Creating asset that you will use for consistency. It doesn't sound well or make sense that you have your button on the header section or the hero section of a page at a particular size, and another section on that particular website, the button is different. Now it confuses user, And if the users are confused, they are going to leave your website. When they leave your website, because they be confused, like, am I still on this person's website or this company's website? Now you all majority of us know UBA color, MTN color, GT Bank color, all these bank color. You are used to it, and you've been browsing. The colors have been the same, consistent, and you get to another page. Everything just changed to something that you are not used to. That doesn't even look like their brand. You have to check the URL again. Am I still on this same page? So for consistency and for UX, for user experience, you need to maintain consistency, and that is why we'll be using component. We'll be creating component. We just create like 2 or 3 components. And plugin are just the extension. They are extension that makes your life easy, that facilitate your design in Figma. So we have different thousands of plugins available. So widgets, we will not be talking about that for now. So that is what this particular section is used for. By the time we create component, you will see that the component will appear here, and you will see how we use component. So another tool which I've talked about is and to pan around on the interface, And the last tool that we talk about today on this tool section before we move to the design is add comment. Is comment tool, very powerful tool, good for collaboration. Now if you design and I ask you that, okay, share me your Figma design link, share me the link to your Figma design. Now if you share me the link, and how do you share the link? Okay, let me quickly talk on that. Now maybe after I'm done with design and I want to send it to developer to start developing that website. Maybe someone worked on a design, and you as a WordPress developer, they send the design to you. How do they send? How will they use a UX UI designer send the design? If we just come here and click on share, we are not going to copy. We are not copying this URL here, because this URL is only specific to this design. So you just click on share and you click on copy link. So you copy, and it is that link, that particular link, that you will give to a developer, and developer will just click on it and it will load on the developer. Or want to comment that, okay, should he change the button color from yellow to blue? So he will just click on this comment instead of him calling in on phone or dropping message on WhatsApp anyhow. So you just come here, click on that particular section and say change the color to blue, drop the message, and after that click on this arrow meaning submit. Immediately it does that, I will receive a notification that a comment has been dropped for me on my design. So this art button, we know what we use art for in social media is just to tag someone. So if we are many on this particular design, I told you the other time that all of us on this design, all of us on this call can be working on this design. So if I just want to tag, let's take for instance Anthony or Oloruntoba or anybody, I will just press my sheet button and to which is for art, to activate my art button, and I will type. So it will list out the name of everybody on this design artboard. So I will now type, okay, tag Sheyi, meaning that this comment is only for this guy to reply. So maybe I want to ask the stakeholder that I don't understand what you mean by this. Can you explain better? I will just tag him, and he will see it that he has been tagged, and he will explain it. So if I'm done, click on your move to send it. So I don't need it. Let me just click. Let me click on it. Sorry. And then sorry. So result this thing for today, which is designing a landing page for an audit firm. A landing page for an audit firm. A landing page for an audit firm. So if you don't like this particular canvas, I told us that this is where you can change the color. So I want to change it back to what I like, the mode I like working with. So I want to change one here, one here, one here. Yes, one here, one here, one here. So you can change it to any color you prefer. So I want to click on the artboard, choose my desktop, and zoom out. Oh, sorry, I remember I can click on this control and your scroll wheel is believed to have 12 frame. 12 frame. I mean 12 column, 12 column is believed to have 12 column. Now you will see that you don't need to memorize that. It's just for us it's just to guide our design and to make the layout very neat, very clean, and by the time you yourself start seeing your design, it will not look scattered. It's just to guide our design. So we need to create our layout grid. So when we click on this particular name, this is desktop. When you click on this plus, something has been added like a graph sheet. So you click on this layout grid settings. When you click on layout grid settings, you want to change it from grid to column. From grid to column. So when you change it from grid to column, and we want to make it 12-point grid, 12 count grid rather, 12 count, 12. Now when so you may not understand now, I will talk about it later, because we need to set padding and margin by the time we get to WordPress. So, and the margin, we remember when we were in secondary school, high school, and want to write our O-level exam, they will tell you that do not write in the margin. So here also we want to respect that margin. We want to respect that margin for that is the standard for website design and mobile app. So we need to create margin, and the way I like to create my own is now the type is set to stretch, meaning end to end, full center. Just watch. I like to set it to center. Now this is not the final, and I will now come to the width. The width here, I'll be playing with it. I'll be increasing it. So you just be increasing it. Now you can see that it's moving at 10-point interval. The reason why it's moving at 10-point interval is I pressed and hold my shift for it to jump 10, 10, 10, 10. But if I do not press my shift button, it will be moving 1 pixel, 1 pixel, and that's not what I want this time. So I want it to move very fast. So I press and hold my shift key on the keyboard and click on the arrow up or arrow down button. Arrow up is to increase, arrow down is to decrease. So I just click on arrow up button on my keyboard. I begin to expand. I think I let outer space of an element. Outer space of an element. It's an outer space of an element. So all these, by the time we start designing and you see the design, you will understand reason why we have this. Let's take for instance that you are reading a book and the book is written from one end of the paper to the other end. It doesn't even, the experience will not be good. The experience will not like it. But if the book is properly formatted and the space there is margin, you will like to read the book. It will be appealing. So that's what we want to create. So the next thing we want to do, let's remember that the name of our firm that we want to create website for is AuditX. AuditX is just a fictional name. It's not any company's name. So it's AuditX. So AuditX, we want to create a logo for it. I don't have a logo yet, and we need to create typography for it. We need to set our typography style. We need to set our components. This is where it will be getting interesting. If you've not been paying attention before, please at this stage, because if you miss it at this stage, you may start getting confused and wondering how did you get this particular thing. It will be looking like a magic. Please pay attention at this point. Please pay attention. So the next thing we want to do is we want to start exploring some other things that I said I will explain when we start designing. So the first thing we want to do is let's type the name of our company out. Let's press on T to activate the type tool or text tool. So you click, when you click, the cursor will come up and we type audit X, audit X, audit X. So audit X is the name of our company. I think I like this IV mode font that we choose. IV mode. If you are getting it, just unmute and let me know.
I'm getting it, sir.
Okay, thank you. I want two more persons to to confirm that you are getting all these things. Two more. Just unmute. If you have not talked before, just unmute. Just unmute and talk. Just unmute. Femi Joseph. I think you just joined us.
I'm getting it, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I want one more person. Emmanuel Pius.
Yeah, please, I'm not currently with my laptop, but I'm following up with the tutorial. So I
Okay.
just want to find out if you will drop the link to this particular tutorial at the end of the lesson today.
Okay, the video is being recorded and it will be available for rewatch after this
Okay.
session. So you can go back and
All
watch
right,
it.
thanks.
Someone want to ask a question?
I also want to check the laptop. When I always on it takes too much a very long amount of time to set, and it never works finish.
Okay, it may be the settings, the configuration of your laptop. You may need to exercise patience for the laptop. So Figma is a light application. If you the best thing for you, just mute your mic while I address the question. Just mute your mic. Thank you. Just mute your mic, please. Please mute your. So the next thing we want to do. So if you want to talk, just use the hand button so that I can unmute you to talk. So the next thing we want to do is we want to explore the plugin. I talked about the plugin the other time. So we want to explore the plugin, and there are different plugins available in Figma, but the one that I want us to explore today, two plugins that we will use today are this Unsplash, and another one is called Content Reel. Content Reel. Content Reel. Content Reel. Content Reel. Reel is R-E-E-L. R-E-E-L. Let's hold on a bit. My laptop is freezing. REEL. These are plugins. All these ones that are coming out are plugins. Okay. So we'll use Content Reel in Figma. What we actually want to do with the plugins, we want to import. This is the plugin. Click on run and wait for it. So while it is running, company's logo that are there, just click on next, start. So I want to import a logo for our so just click our rectangle and then click and hold. I mean, just click. It's just a click. Just close. So let's take for instance that this is our logo, this is our angle. Click, hold your shift button and then drag. So when you click perfect rectangle, hold your shift button and drag. So this is just to represent something, that this is our logo. So let's give it a name. Let's give it a color. I think one of the colors that is common among all these pens is blue. It's blue. It's blue. And then one of the meaning of blue color is trust. Built. I started designing. I want to make it bold. Yes, I want to make it bold. So the next thing you want to do, let me zoom in so that we can see it well. The next thing we want to do is to create other things on the header. We need is K. The shortcut is K rather. That is scale 2. Scale 2. So I want to reduce the size of this particular element. I need to move fast. I don't want to keep us here. I know majority of us still have other things to do. So I would click and drag on the two elements and then right click and then you choose group selection. I want to group the two. Group selection. This is just basic group selection. So it has been grouped and the two has become one. So this is outside the edit mode of that text. And the Control C and contact us. So home, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Now it has pasted. So just click on it and drag. So to duplicate, that's to duplicate it. So the next thing is we change this one to, or before that, let's just Control V many times so that Control V pasting, Control V, take one out, take others out. Till we are sure, okay, yes. So, but this kind of font, we can't use it for body font in our design. The only thing we can use it for is header font, like H1 heading font rather, heading font. But I don't want to go there now. Fatima. Okay.
The graphics.
Okay, you can ask your question. Use the default font that was activated when we installed our Figma. That is Inter. So it's not going to be bold. Let's make it medium, and we need to change the size to 16. 2 hours is not even enough to explain the rules. So, but let me just guys merge. The size is always between 14 to 20, depending on the font that you use. There's some font that their 14 size is bigger than even 16 size of another font, but it's always between 14. But the professional font, the professional size is 16 to 20. So when you choose 16, so let's change all this. I've changed I can double click on it to edit it. About us, and to move fast. About us, escape, go to the next one, services. Someone should drop in the comments the kind of services that all these auditing firms offer. The kind of services that, so let's make it interactive. The kind of services that they offer, so we can design it together. We can say career, the kind of services they offer. Someone should just drop it there and contact us. contact us. So our header is getting set bit by bit. This is called atomic design. We are creating the element, guys, or contact them for anything you want to contact them for. So this is the purpose of this website. So the way we will create the button, we will all know that the button always have like a bounding box around the of padding. By the time we create this, we convert this one to button. So what I will do, there are many ways to create button, but I will give us the basic way to create a rectangle around it. So I want corner radius. There's some button that you will see that something like this. To our color, we need to change it to our color. So our color is this. We want to bring in these contactors on this button. Now if I drag this rectangle on contactors, it will cover contactors. We will not see it, and this is not what we want. And is the one at the top. You need to take contactors to be at the top of every element, or to be at the top of this particular rectangle. And that the way we can do that, there are many ways to it. Just select this element, and you click and hold. You begin to drag it up. Still hold. You see this line. If you release your mouse here, it will not still show because it's still under the rectangle. So if you drag it up, now it will show now because it's above that line is above rectangle. So when you release your mouse, the next thing you want to do is contrast. Now this is not good enough because the contactors is not so visible. Someone cannot see it very well. So we need to change the contrast from this 00000. This 60 is just the color code for black. We need to change it to white. Now white is FFFFF, 6 Fs, but I want us to go the simple way. Just type white and you press enter and it changes to white. And so the next thing you want to do, I want to talk about a tool that about a property that I've not talked about before. Just click outside and drag 2 elements. Now before I continue, everything you see on a website, they are elements. We have text elements, which are text. We have media elements, which are picture, images, video, GIF, and then we have shape. They are elements too. So that's why I've been referring to them as elements. Let's align it to center. Align horizontal center. Horizontal center. Yes. The next thing we want to do is align vertical centers. Align vertical centers. Two things that make your design look professional. Makes your design look professional. Someone will just see your design and if you like this design, but if you ask the person may not be able to explain why he liked your design. And the same thing happens when someone doesn't like your design. You just say, I'm not feeling the design, I don't just like it. These are little things that makes your design look professional. So we will group it again because they've been married together. We group it again, Ctrl G or Command G on the Mac. Wow. How can we manage this time? We have less than, and I don't want to rush this thing. Every element together. So just click. You can see we are using the rectangle. I just press R on my keyboard and I click and drag in the edge. So I'll come here. I'll drag it. Click and drag. Yes. Align top. Align top. So it's by pressing this. So it has been aligned to the top. The next thing I want to do is I want to reduce this. I want to make it. You can just press the square back and the bracket key on your keyboard. The bracket P. After P, just press it once. It will send it to back. It will send it to back. That is sent to back. So it has been like this one here. Align vertical center. Yes. Now I'm not aligning horizontal. If I align horizontal, everything will come together and you will not like it. So the next thing I want to do is I want to make use of this. I want to show you this and till we get what we want. I think it's okay that way. Okay, let's make it 40. Let's make it 40. I like working with multiple of 4 or something divisible of 4. So the next thing we want to do is also to group these navbar menu. Control G. Make sure that it aligns to this grid. We are not touching 2 elements, so we've aligned them. Last thing we will do for the header is to group it. But before we group it, I want to change the color of this rectangle to white. Change the color to white. We may not see the difference, but we'll see the difference later. So you just change it to, just group it. Control G, or right click, group selection. Control G on your keyboard, or right click, group selection. You can change it to header. So the next thing we want to do, just press enter. The next thing we want to do is to providing, or we provide transparent. I'm not a copywriter, so pardon my copy skill. Transparent and effective. Transparent and effective. Transparent and effective audit. Audit task that will help your company make, that will help your company make wise financial decision. That will help your company make wise financial decision. It's not how the font will look. I want to make it go on 2 or 3 lines. So I'll just click the edge, begin to drag. Now, for now, I will leave it that way, because by the time I increase the size, it will be big. Heading 1 to heading 6, but most of the time you may not go beyond heading 1 to heading 3 or 4 maximum. In web design, it is not always advisable to use pure black. This is pure black for your text. So let's just use something like a tint of black, meaning going up a little bit. It's still within the black region. So we choose that. And the next thing we want to do is we want to change the font size to let's say 56. It's always big. When you go to a website, it's not making sense now. When you go to a website, you will see that the first font you will see, this font size, the first thing you will see is. So the next thing we want to do is center align it. Justify center. Align center rather. So press this align, or let's try semi bold. Let's use bold. Call line height. So line height on a web page exists in a box. This is the box for this particular text. So we just click this line height, and the advisable line height is just type 120%. You may not notice different, but that is the professional way of doing a design. So we've aligned it desktop here, this particular area where my mouse is. When you click on it to hide it, so when you click on it, it will hide. So you just see the beauty of whatever you are designing. And the next thing we want to do is we want to have a short text. Let me just speed up this tutorial. So I don't have a text now. I just click on lorem ipsum. Lorem ipsum is a dummy text that we use. Is a dummy text. It's in Latin. So when we don't have content for our website, we go to lorem ipsum to generate a dummy text. So I'll just come here, click, hold, and when you hold, now if you are okay with the size, just release your mouse. Now the fonts, if you paste the last font size that you used, which is this, is what will be active here. So we need to change it to our base font or body font, which is 16, and we also need to adjust the size, the line height to 150%. 150%, and we change it from bold to regular. So let's paste it. Ctrl C. So regular may not work. Well, let's increase the font size to like 20. So, and let's make use of medium. But the text is too much. I don't want to bug our user with too much of text. Let's reduce the text. Yes. Just assume that that's the text. So reduce the size. So the next thing I want to justify, align it to the center, horizontal center. Now it's been aligned. Now the next thing, the next thing for us to do, maybe second to the last thing for today, the time is gone already. I don't want to keep us here for too long. So we've created this button. So I want to copy this button, this particular button. Just okay, copy. Okay, let's just use Ctrl C. I don't always use just press Ctrl C. So when you press Ctrl C, come outside the group, because if you paste immediate Ctrl V. So now we can click and drag. So because contact us is their primary CTA, that is what they want people that will come to their website to do for them. To do on the website, to contact them. So the next thing is you want to move this up a bit. I feel this text is still long, but I can't come up with any better content for now. But it's too long. It can be shorter. So now another shortcut to duplicate is this. Now I just did something. I did not press Ctrl C, Ctrl V. What I did is I pressed and hold down my Alt key. When you press and hold down your Alt key, the arrow, let me zoom in so that you can see. So, and you release your mouse first. Release your mouse first before you release the Alt. Second, you release the Alt, and that is it. So you delete. We don't need this. I just use that to explain what I did there. So the next thing is we want to change the text to this text to learn more. Learn more. Let me learn more. Learn more. So we need to make sure that we align it to the center too. So learn more. Let's come to our layers panel. When we get to our layers panel, click on these two elements, the rectangle of this learn more. Select this rectangle, and to select the other element, which is this text learn more, press and hold your shift key and click on learn more. The two element has been selected, and click to align to center, align horizontal center. So now I want us to pay attention. I want to explain something. When you get to a web, to design our secondary button, we will make this one an outline, not a fill. Now this will take me to explain another thing in using shape. Now we have, this is fill. We will deactivate fill, we remove fill by pressing this minus. Now so just click on it, learn more. When you click on it, the text has been selected. Click on this square box and change the color to this, and that is how all those magic that we see on a website are being designed. So let's move it closer a bit. Let's come here, buttons, Control G to group. So the second to the last thing today, I want us to close now. I'm sorry for taking our time. Next week we'll be designing other parts and are too attractive. Now we need to add pictures. We need to add picture to it. And one of the websites where I get picture from free of charge, because you need to be very careful of how you pick picture on the internet. You don't just go on Google and pick any picture you like. The owner of the picture can sue you for copyright infringement, and that can be so much stuff on your neck that you may not be able to bear by the time courts charge you for copyright infringement. So we go to unsplash.com. All the pictures there are available to use for free. You can use all the pictures there. Nobody will penalize you, nobody will arrest you for using their picture, because the picture are gotten from here. Don't go to Google to search for picture and you just pick any picture. It's not appropriate. It can be disastrous. So we come here, let's just search for, when we talked about audit, just the same way we search on Google, let's just search for maybe finance. When we talk about audit, so we can just pick any image. And when you are choosing image, let me give a tip here. This is portrait. So if it's like this, it's portrait. If it's bent like this, the link in our Telegram channel on splash.com, and you click on download. Now this, and this will be the second to the last thing we will do today. I'm sorry for taking our time. So place image, just click on it, place image. You want to go and look for the image that we downloaded. There are different ways by which you can place image on a. So what is the name of the image? Okay, you can click and drag and drop. Someone should just unmute and let me know if you understand it up to this level, because this is the second to the last thing we will do today. I'm sorry for taking our time. Just unmute and let me know if you have a question. You can start asking your question, and if you understand everything, let me know that you understand. Just unmute yourself, unmute. Looking for my image. Where is this image? Just unmute, please. You can very turn it to this level, to this stage. So I will just come this image. I want to look for the name. A minute, please. This is the second to the last. Sean Pollock. Sean. Where are you? Sean. Okay, good. Yeah. So just go there, and now this is the image will load. So you can click and drag. So the image will load. So just click anywhere. It's still adding the image. All of us can see my screen, right? It's because the image is large a little bit. I will talk about image when we get to WordPress. How image affect the performance of your website. How image affect the performance of your website. So, sorry, a little time more. Yes, we can see that the image is here now. So, if you want the image to be bigger, just click. Let's click anywhere and drag. You continue to drag it. Now, this is the size. You remove this image onto inside our artboard, our frame. Inside our frame. So I'll just drag, click, drag, and make sure it enters. Now it's inside the section. It must get a yes. Now it's inside the frame. Inside the frame. Now I want to align it center, top. Now it's covering everything. If you look at the layers panel arrangement, the layers panel, let me close. So anything at the top is what you see first. So it's the one at the top and it's covering everything. So what we do is click and hold on it and you begin to drag it down. See that white line until you drag it under the header. Make sure it doesn't enter the group, and if it enters the group, you can just move it out. So you can release your mouse here. Bam. Now this one has been fixed. Now I want to add icon, and you click on it. Now remember I talked about opacity the other time, that it will come and delete that. This is one of the places where we need it. I want to increase it. Increase. Now I think I'm good to white. Now they are becoming more visible. White. Another challenge rather, is this blue call to action box. Go with blue is orange, yellow, red. So we can move to the orange and see if it will work. No, it does not. So then another thing you can do is, let's change it to white. Let's make our call to action button to white. This white. If you want to know which color is selected here, just click on this. Now, so I want to change this text, this lemon, but it's inside a group. Let's select, click your mouse, it will select that element. So you don't need to click and to get to the inside. Just click and hold your control key and select. So I've selected it. So next thing is change it to white. Yeah, it's looking nice. Then change this to change this to brown. So let's change this one to white. So let's change it back to blue. Our brand color, blue. This is our brand color. And we are done. So I want to show you the next thing that we have not talked about. And okay, the last thing I will do, let me just group all these things together because they belong to the same family. So they are together. Control G to group. So to have a feel of how your website, how this particular design will look when it is being developed, even before the development, we come to this prototype, and